Hi everyone, this is Holly with Military Home Base. Thank you for joining us on our Tuesday, I should call it Tuesday Madness because yesterday was the holiday, and with the holiday being on a Monday, today feels like it's Monday Madness, and, with all that craziness, and we're trying to get back in the groove and doing stuff, and it's been just a little kind of crazy, right? Do you feel it's crazy? So,
Yeah.
but I have a special guest. So today we are talking about to Hope, who is a military spouse. She's also a local author, and she has wrote a book, and she's in the middle of writing a couple of her books.
Yes.
And she's also, you do ghostwriting, you do editing, lots of other things. But she's here in our Tampa area, and so as you know, Military Home Base likes to highlight and showcase businesses, organizations, our military spouses. And so today we're going with Hope, our military spouse, who has wrote Finding Joy and the Years Apart That Made Me a Better Wife. So tell us, Hope. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Give me a little bit, give our audience who's going to watch this later a little bit about the book. And
Okay. Well, the book it started out as me journaling through deployments and just a kind of a private way to find my own happiness when my husband was deployed and find my own purpose when it feels so much like your only purpose is to wait a lot of times. And so as I was writing it, I started a blog and discovered that there's a lot of other spouses out there who were struggling with some of the same things, and so I published the book. I took that journaling and I worked it out and edited it a bunch, so it's no longer a journal, it's an actual book.
And again, it's Finding Joy.
Yeah, and it's divided up so that you could do it with a group and have weekly studies where you come together, or you could do it on your own.
So if you're a part of a Bible study anywhere, and this is not going to be Tampa, anywhere, this would be a wonderful, wonderful book for you to use in your Bible study, especially military or non-military, for either one. But if you are military and you have a part of Bible study, go out, get Finding Joy, and then you will be able to do the Bible study within every week and talk about it. So I say this is when I call it my purple table talk, because when you bring all the joints together, the color is purple. And sometimes we have to get really real and let people know that this really does happen. So digging deep, why did you really write this book?
Because I was having trouble finding joy.
Right.
It was really hard. I didn't want to be a military spouse, to be honest. My husband joined later in life, and it wasn't something that I ever anticipated being part of our life. But our daughter was diagnosed with cancer, and a lot of our dreams got put on hold. And my husband really wanted to make sure we were always provided for, to make sure that no matter what happened in the future, there'd be medical. So he joined the Army because that's who he is. He provides. He wanted to serve and protect, and the way he knew to do that was to enlist. So at 35, he enlisted as a private.
Which is not near 18.
No, I think he was at the cutoff date. He had joined right out of high school, but then was injured in AIT, and back then they didn't fix you. They just
sent you right back out.
Yes, but now they fixed you and whatever. So he already knew he loved it, and that's what he did, to take care of us and to fulfill that calling he felt. And I had gone to seminary, and I wanted to work on the mission field, and I wanted to travel the world and tell people about Jesus and just love on people. And the military, I thought, was so far from that, because in my world, military was just war, right? And so I became a military spouse, and I discovered, for one thing, I was wrong about the community. It wasn't what I expected at all. And I did have a group of people who needed my love and my support. And so I was able to find my purpose alongside of him And even when he was in another country, I was still able to find my purpose. And I've been able to use my background in biblical training,
Right.
and I've been able to use it, and I've also been able to use my love for writing, which is what I'm doing full time now. It's just writing for me and for other people. And
So if you're looking for someone who understands writing, how to write a book, has been through the process, can tell you this didn't work, or hey, this will work, and she goes, you go to conferences all the time for this.
I have started to use moving here. There's lots of opportunities
here.
Tampa.
Then they can find you on your blog. What is your blog?
It's real easy. It's my name.
Okay.
HopeInGriffin.com.
Okay, so we'll add that to the top so that you can know. Do you have a website?
Well, just my blog.
We should get you a website.
Well, it's kind of a website.
Yeah, and that way you can tie the blog into the website so more people can find you. We're going to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you need a website so they can, post this more and
Yeah.
people can go look for you there.
Okay.
Because she does a lot of ghostwriting.
I do
I didn't know what that was. I was
ghostwriting.
like, what's ghostwriting?
It's where no one knows I write it for you except for you and me and anyone you want to tell.
Yeah, I did not know that. I was like, really, really clueless. And I won't tell you how clueless I was because I am blonde and I really said something that really didn't make no sense. But we had a good laugh about that one and we moved on from it. So there you go.
I'm a ghost.
Here it goes. But that's the good thing about being spouses. We can laugh at each other when some of us don't sound so intelligent. And so, though through all of this, there are other things that have happened. If you go on the Today Show's Facebook page and their website, there is actually yesterday, 2 days ago, it went live. Hope and another military spouse was asked to write, not write, but to be interviewed for the Today Show.
If the Today Show ever wants me to write for them,
Yeah, then
I'm
she
not
would be
gonna
so
say
happy.
No.
But they did reach out to me, and so and I was.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And then of course what they needed was not something Holly could do, but Holly passed it on and knew that the story that Jolene had and that Hope had was worth reading. That thing got 269 shares last night whenever I looked at 9 o'clock. So your story, when people say they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to share because, for one, it's hard. Two, you try to bring up bad memories and things like that. It's not easy.
Right.
And when you tell someone, it's different than putting it in paper and you're seeing your life, kind of like, whoosh, there. That's not easy. But what you both did, I know that for Jolene, she messaged us yesterday saying that a lot of people reached out.
Right.
For
I
your
had
book.
a few too.
And she had a few too. So
Wow.
when you write and you share your story, you're telling your why and you're saving someone else's life. And it does matter. I say military heart matters, but it really does matter because it goes back to that you're not alone. The family is not alone. This is a real subject that happens every day.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened later? Your daughter had cancer.
Right. My daughter had cancer.
And for John.
But she's good now. In April, we'll be 13 years cancer-free. So I've been doing this for a while now. Yeah. So shout out to St. Jude for saving my daughter's life. And then,
Thank God.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yes. But, and so we did that, then we did deployments. My husband has deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan and has hit a few IUDs. He likes to joke and tell people his job was to poke bombs with sticks so they don't have to. He's had some injuries because of it, some spinal fusions. We've dealt with PTSD, TBI, migraines, lots of health issues. So he had to medically retire about a year ago, and it was fast. It was just fast. In for 10 years and then quick out. And so we picked Tampa because my family's nearby, and the VA here, we did some research. The VA here is really good, and we've been treated really well here. And so that's how we ended up here. But through that time, we've really struggled with just what PTSD looks like, how it affects the whole family, how it's affected the children and our relationship. We've done PTSD marriage counseling for a couple months now through the VA, and it's been really helpful. But yeah, it's definitely like this new member of the family that just kind of landed in our house, and we didn't know it was there at first, and we didn't know what was going on, but once we could name it, it was like, okay, well, here's a seat at the table. Let's deal with you.
Right.
So that's where we're at now.
That's a good way of putting that.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, because it's something that's really real, and I know that you kind of joke about it, but I know that it's not joking.
I laugh to get through stress.
Right. A lot of people do. That's how you deal with it. But saying that it's at the table, because it's never going to go away. It's sitting at your dinner table forever.
And I love my husband, and I want him to continue to sit at my dinner table.
And John's a great man, and so John, if you're watching, you're wonderful, because when you're talking about that's not easy. I think that none of us want to be on the center.
Right. And I'm not just telling my story when I share these things. I'm telling his. So there have been some long talks about permission to tell these.
And thank you. So that's why I'm saying, John, thank you for allowing me to do this live on our work page, and for sharing, because with your courage and strength, because that's what it takes to allow someone else to share your story. When people are watching this, and they will watch, usually not all the time live, but they come back and watch it, they feel that sense of, I'm not alone, and thank you. Thank you for allowing that, because Hope is going to be able to say, here with your blog, if someone reaches out, you're saving someone else, because this does lead to suicidal thoughts and other things. It's on our forefront.
I really do believe there's a difference in a person who has a community, a person struggling with post-traumatic stress, who has a community that comes around them, and what that looks like, as opposed to our veterans who
don't have
nobody, and they've just been abandoned. And you hear these stories of like there was one recently about a man who was having to walk to the VA over 2 counties just to get there, because he'd lose his care if he didn't, and he had no one to drive him. And that just breaks my heart, the thought that there are people out there who have nobody. And I think that we as society, not just military spouses, not just the military community, but we ask them to do the unthinkable. We send them over there, and then we expect them to come back and just feel like it doesn't make any sense. So a lot of my
I do believe that our tankers, our artillery, our IUD people, they deal with their service members deal with those specialty fields. They deal with that a lot.
And there's a lot of stigma that comes with that label of PTS, and we need to move past that, because it's not all about, they aren't all violent. If anything, they're more likely to harm themselves than anyone else. They pull away. Everybody portrays it differently, and there's just a lot of stigma around it that needs to just go away. They're just people, and they just need help. And if we could just be there for them, sometimes that's all they need.
And we're doing this today because we are coming up to a holiday time. And any time it's the holidays is triggers. They're being alone. When we get to, like, especially New Year's, and you have fireworks, that is not easy. Then you have Christmas, and you have that sense of, I don't have nowhere to go. So if you can volunteer at one of the VFWs. My son on Sundays goes to the local VFW, and he serves breakfast. And so that's my son doing that. He's in high school. And so you can volunteer. And no, you're not going to get paid, but you're going to get so much reward from that of loving. So there's that. Go to the VA hospitals, walk around. They would love our cookies and things like that, or just sitting beside them and talking to them. So as a family, when you're thinking about how can I give back, and there's many, many ways, because at this time of year, there's always a need. This is also a need, and especially for our community. So, give back in that way. Or invite someone that you know that might not have family over for dinner. I mean, a turkey is really big. So, I mean, in this time of year, if you can afford to have 2 turkeys, get 2 turkeys and invite, especially You know, 'cause a lot of people think about our single service members, which you do. Please invite them too. The more the merrier. But then they forget about our veterans.
Yes.
And then you forget about anyone who is suffering in other ways. And those are they need your support and help too. So more the merrier. Have a big dinner, invite over for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah.
And that way you're not by yourself. I mean, I'm very lucky we don't have that. But my girlfriend Sally, who's actually watching, hello Sally. Yesterday I called her and I'm like, my girlfriend can't do Thanksgiving with us because things have changed. Plans. She's like, that's okay, girlfriend. You can come to my house. And you know, we're not alone. And it gets, especially for us military, it can be very lonely during the holidays because it's very expensive to travel, to fly, to pack up everything. You've got animals, now you got to pay for someone to watch your animals, so you end up spending time alone.
Right.
And so invite a veteran, invite someone who's, you know, service member, invite another family, and if you know of anyone who is suffering from anything, invite them over so they're not alone.
Just be in their life.
Be in their life,
Be a
yes.
friend.
Because that's what they need.
Yep.
And so we're going to end on that kind of note. Finding joy, because this life is not always the easiest. I call it our unique lifestyle, and you really have to embrace all the uniqueness of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just not easy, and it's really what you make out of it. So Hope found some joy. It's a great Bible study book. It's a great book to just read on your own. If you are out there and you're watching and you're like, this hits some points in your family, because a lot of times our service members who are dealing with certain issues do not want to talk about it. As a family, you're a part of that. You're part of that, not talking and the issues. Reach out to Hope, because Hope has she's a great friend, and she knows what it is. And
I've been there. I am there.
Yeah, and then giving resources like for Joe Lindley, who has Reboots in North Carolina. Hope can pass all those resources off to you too. There are people that really want to help and be with you. So,
Absolutely.
do you have anything else to say?
Just thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for being in my life. Thank y'all for watching, and have a very blessed, today's Tuesday. I feel like it's a Monday because we were on the holiday. But have a blessed Tuesday. Thank you for joining. Remember that Military Home Base brings you home one base at a time, and have a wonderful day.